Woo-hoo! Day 2, the Eagles come out and they're on the hunt. Dallas still stinks. You might do a kick dig back here. So day 2 of joint practices has come to an end, and the Eagles bounce back in a big way. One of the issues I had yesterday, one of the things that bothered me, was I felt like the Eagles were a little too friendly, a little too happy to see A.J. Brown and say hi to their friend and talk to the Patriots and get along. Well, that wasn't the case today. The Eagles came in chippy, they came in with self-respect, they came in with fight, and they pulled this day out. That's right, going to New England and taking it to them in the joint practice. I am very happy with the response the Philadelphia Eagles showed today, the fight that they showed from the quarterback to the offense, to the line, to the receivers, to the defensive side of the ball. And it is clear that when you look at the MVP of the Eagles' last 2 days, it has to be Jalyx Hunt. Jalyx Hunt is going to be a star in this league. And I am not the only one saying this. There are a lot of media people who are not Eagles media people saying 58 is a problem. 58 is going to be a big problem. Now, we're going to get into all of it in a second, but as always, we've got to go over the injury report because the big news that came early in the day as practice was just getting started was the return of MEKHI Lemon. That's right. Lemon was back at practice, although he didn't take part in 11-on-11s or 7-on-7s or any of those. He did take part in some of the drills that they did early. Here was the injury report for the Eagles. Eagles day 2 in New England injury report. No practice. Bennett, knee. Calcaterra, back. Jalen Carter, personal and excused. Castro Fields, heel. Jonathan Jones, shoulder. Elijah Moore, neck. John Ojukwu, pectoral. Damian Pierce, hamstring. Johnny Wilson, knee. Byron Young, shoulder. And you had Devontae Smith and MEKHI Lemon, like I said, they were limited. But it was good to see those guys back. And now you've got to really wonder with the way Lemon looked today, because he looked like he was going full speed. I've got to think that we actually have a chance for him to go out there and possibly play on Saturday. How awesome would that be if MEKHI Lemon could get some playing time in on Saturday? Look, I know the Eagles don't want to play their starters, and I know he's considered a starter in the slot, but I play him. I play him if given the opportunity. I think it would be very, very important to do that. But MEKHI Lemon returned today, and I could not be happier about that. The Eagles are slowly getting their wide receivers back. And in the meantime, while Lemon has been out, while Devontae Smith has been out, guys like Dontavian Wicks are starting to make some moves in terms of getting a lot of reps, looking good. Darius Cooper continues to look good. Elijah Moore, before he went out with his neck injury, he was having a good joint practice as well. So the Eagles, things are moving along. Maybe a little slow in terms of getting guys healthy, but it's going to happen. And I think Lemon's got a chance to play. Another play you should check out this. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports pick app. It is the best app to use while watching sports. Plus, it is really simple to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats, lock in your lineup, and boom, you're ready to go. Or if you're like me, you can check out the new team pick section where you can pick on team winning, different spreads, all sorts of different things. Plus, Prize Pick is available in almost all 50 states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Now, today, for me, we are going to operate in that team picks area, and we are going to take one of the easy questions that they offer in the team pick section. That is stage of elimination for the Dallas Cowboys. I am choosing the Dallas Cowboys to be eliminated after the regular season. That's right. No playoffs for the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is easy guarantee. That's why I'm locking it in. The Cowboys to not make the playoffs. It is, I think, a surefire bet. Now, if you like this or you want to do something similar or different, maybe you want to get back at me, go check out the Prize Pick app in the description. Download it. Use promo code HMA when you sign up and play your first $5. And if your $5 lineup hits, you get $150 in lineup credits. Play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineup credits. That's an insane new offer for new users. They just dropped it, but you got to use promo code HMA. Link is in the description. Get $150 in lineup credits on your first $5 lineup if you win. Check it out, and shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. We appreciate it so very much. Now, when we look at the practice session, right, it was funny to me because when you're going through the drills and we're hearing everything that happened at practice, it's interesting because what people say and what reality is can be two different things. For example, you'll get a tweet, A.J. Brown with a nice catch, Riq Woolen or Q covering him, but they don't mention the catch was out of bounds. All right, it wasn't in play. And so I had a lot of Patriot fans, well, maybe not Patriot fans, but Eagle fans too, saying Q's getting crushed. He's getting cooked out there. AJ is abusing him. It really wasn't the case. And I thought what Doug Keed said was pretty interesting. He said that A.J. Brown beat Quinyon Mitchell 3 times on 2-on-2s, and he beat him 3 times on 2-on-2s, and he didn't beat him on 1-on-1s. Quinyon Mitchell held his own on 1-on-1s versus A.J. Brown. So it tells you that it wasn't as bad as everybody wants to make it seem. There were a couple plays that I saw. One, I saw A.J. bobble ball out of bounds. Then I saw A.J. catch a really nice slant route. There was another perfect pass in the back of the end zone. Maye was perfect pass. Not bad coverage by Q, but A.J. with a great catch. I thought it was pretty even 101. The 2-on-2s, it did look like A.J. got a little bit of better than him, but that's expected. A.J. Brown is a great player. He wasn't ever leaving the Eagles because he wasn't a great player. Anybody that thinks that, like I said, you were mistaken all along, because that is not the case, okay? Now, as far as the defense goes, though, there's a couple guys I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about Riq Woolen. Riq Woolen had a horrible day yesterday. Okay? But that all changed today. Riq Woolen had a great comeback today. Okay, he had a big pick today. Riq Woolen had a nice interception on a ball intended for Brown, and he took it the other way. Would have been a pick 6. Riq Woolen versus A.J. Brown, goal line. Brown ran a quick out. Woolen also ran his route for him, stepped in front of Drake Maye's pass, and was gone. Pick 6. So, Riq Woolen with a really big bounce back day. And to me, that's the whole theme of today is bounce back. Bounce back and fight. That's what the Eagles showed us they have. They came out, they were chippy. There was counted like 5 or 6 scrums today. The Eagles weren't having it. There was one point that Saquon Barkley was losing his mind that they had to hold him back. So I like the fight that the Eagles came out with. I really, really did. And as I said about Jalyx Hunt, he's a star. he's an absolute star. And what did he do today at practice? Besides getting pressures and stuff like that, goes out, he forces a fumble. Then he goes out and he gets a diving interception. Jalyx Hunt picks off a pass on Maye after Maye tries a quick slant to AJ with Reek WOOLEN coverage. One of them deflected the ball into the air. That was Reek WOOLEN who deflected the ball in the air. And then Jalyx Hunt made a diving catch. Nice play. He also stripped the running back that forced the fumble that allowed the Eagles to get the ball back. Okay? And then when they get the ball back late in the session, offensively in the red zone, Jalen Hurts goes to work. He finishes his last drive 3 of 4 with a really nice touchdown in the back of the end zone to Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown, his last few days, is starting to come around a little bit. Now, AJ had a couple of interceptions. He definitely did. But he got better as the game went on, as the practice, rather, went on. And he got more and more comfortable. And Jalen Hurts, I would say, Jalen Hurts and the offense in general, kind of an up and down day, okay? The best sequence of the week for the Eagles came when Reek WOOLEN forces the interception off of A.J. Brown. Jalyx Hunt made it, right? Then the offense takes over, and then they score on 4 plays. Hurts pass to Goddard. Hurts pass to Wicks. Hurts to Hollywood Brown out of bounds. Then Hurts to Brown for a touchdown. Then they do a 2-point conversion. Darius Cooper gets that. They have to call it. I think there was a flag on the play. But they finished off really, really good offensively, and they finished off good in the red zone. The offense will be up and down. Hurts is throwing interceptions in practice. I think he had 3 again today. So he had a lot of interceptions, but they're clearly working on stuff, and they're clearly working on stuff over the middle of the field. These things are going to happen. There's like 2 or 3 of those picks where the ball gets deflected up in the air. So a little patience. I think the offense is coming along. But to me, the fact that you had so much fight today, you went in there, they're saying the Eagles won the day today. That's a huge thing. And I think there's a lot to build on. The Eagles do have a walkthrough tomorrow. Then they will be playing New England in the preseason game on Saturday night. We will be streaming that live. And that should be very, very interesting. With that said, Jalyx Hunt, he's a star. No doubt about it. Denzel Washington out. All right, so I got to say this. I saw a couple movie things this week. One, I finally saw the new Spider-Man. I liked it. I thought it was a solid movie. I do not think it was as good as the one before it, though. All right, I can rate these current up-to-date Spider-Mans. I can rank them, right? There are 4 movies. The best Spider-Man movie in that, who was it? Tom Holland. His best Spider-Man movies. I'm not talking about the movies he was, like Civil War and stuff where he made cameos or whatever. But like the actual Spider-Man movies. The best ones are the one where you have the other 2 Spider-Mans come. That was great. Then my second favorite one was the very first one. Then it would be, my third one would be this movie. And then the one where they go to France or Europe or wherever, that one sucked. I hated that with Spider-Man. That's the worst one. But Spider-Man was pretty good. And then I watched Lanterns. I don't hate Lanterns as much as a lot of people didn't like it. But we're going to have to see where it goes. No doubt about it. But maybe I finally got a couple things to watch for a little bit. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.